plugs on my iPod, I wondered if everybody thinks in their accent. I know I do. What's this? What are you talking about?
Just that, when I've been sat there lying on the lounger, right, and I was thinking about stuff.
How do you know you think in your accent? Tell me a typical thought.
Because what I mean is, say if I was like, if I saw something, right? Do you know how I say, like, oh, that's a bit weird, isn't it?
No, but
that was
I don't
being
have
said.
to. But when you think, I don't think the sentence is like I'm saying it. It's just a thought. The thought appears. It's conceptual and it's already there. It's not like I go, Rick, what? Just looking at that fellow over there, were you? Yeah, I was. Yeah. I was thinking it looks a bit weird. Oh, so was I. I don't think out whole sentences.
Whereas you have Carl, stop listening to the Kinks for a minute. Look over there. More cross-eyed people.
No, well, that's
Is that how your mind works?
In a way, yeah. And
Brilliant.
that's when because I
That
thought
explains a lot.
It's great that he has to think of that whole sentence.
that's weird, isn't it? Like, I didn't think that's weird, isn't it? And I thought I actually think in my accent. And then I thought, does Stephen Hawking, does he, when he's doing his maths and that, is he? I don't know where he's from, so I don't know what his accent would be like.
I think he's from Kent or Cambridge or Oxford. Or something like that.
So
you think he might think in his
voice, in that voice,
the computerised voice?
Just wondered.
Had lunch inside today due to shite weather. Sat next to an old fella. Old men's ears and noses carry on growing as they get older. Suzanne noticed his fingers were fat too. Maybe they continue to grow. Suzanne didn't laugh when I said her arse had the same problem. Day 3, cloudy start to the day. Had pie and chips in a cafe. Had a bit of an argument with Suzanne because I thought it was daft that we were paying for food when we were on an all-inclusive holiday. Changed my mind when I saw they sold pie, though. The cafe was called Tattoos. The fellow who owned it didn't have any tattoos. But we never saw his wife.
Oh, brilliant.
Had a drink in a bar. Everyone sat and watched one of the local cats lick its bollocks.
It's the greatest holiday in the world. That's the entertainment in that town.
Went back to the hotel and had a sleep before tea. I love the fact you're moaning about old people, but you're just as bad.
You've done nothing so far.
He's done nothing, he's got a big hip.
Oh, God.
Woke up to news about ducks being badly treated. There was a really ugly one with bent legs.
I'm gonna die. Why does he write this down? Oh, God. Oh.
There is a fat bloke from Bolton who is in the pool as I write this. He's got a big tattoo on his back, but I can't work out what it is. ... He just got out of the pool and burped. You just felt like you had to keep us abreast of that.
Everything's in the diary. It's the point where you're going, breathed in,
Yeah.
breathed out again.
There was a big fat fella in the sea who kept his t-shirt on. If you're big and fat, is there more chance of you getting burnt because there's more of you on show? I asked Suzanne and she said she didn't know in that sort of not listening kind of way. I wanted to hang about to see if the fat bloke was going to get in the kayak, but Suzanne said we had to head back. Just let him waiting to see if he's going to capsize. We go home today, so we got up early to get the last bit of cloud.
No, it's just that it wasn't. It's not that sunny all the time. I mean, I was sat in weather that if it was like that here, there's no way I'd be sat in the garden.
Yeah.
But because you're on holiday, it's like, well, we got to sit in it. Put your coat on.
So are you going to continue to write this diary? Every single day?
It's amazing. Keep this diary up. It's amazing.
No, I will keep it up, because what I find as well is, I think earlier on, before I went away, I think I did learn something, and because I wrote, I remembered it a bit better. So
What was that?
I just was thinking then, I forgot it now, but but I remembered looking back at it and not having to read it all, because I remembered the end of it before I read it, if you know what I mean.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, if you've enjoyed the Diary of Carl Pilkington, more next week, I hope. Another week's worth. That's amazing. I'm going to try and get that published. We'll put the odd page up on the web. Go to rickygervais.com. Don't forget to register there as well, so we can email you and let you know what's happening. Brilliant.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Hey, fool! Don't give me no back chat, sucker! I ain't here to mess with you, I ain't getting in no plane. I'm here to tell you all about Friday night comedy on Channel 4. There's 3 great new comedies. New Green Wing, Yeah Fool, that's nearly ready. My Name is Earl, and The Egg Crowd. They're great new comedy from the creator of Father Ted. Sucker. Friday night comedy this Friday on Channel 4, or I'll be round your house. You stay up all night shivering, 'cause you be so mad scared. Fool.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Rick, who hosts this podcast?
The guys at Positive Internet, why?
Now, I know you're a big fan of those guys.
Yeah, because they're brilliant.
Well, yeah, they are, and I tell you, they're working overtime. Because we've had an email from Jake, who's the director at Positive Internet, and apparently he's been in touch with the editor of the Guinness World Records book.
All right.
And he's hoping to see if we can get this podcast in the Guinness World Record breaking section, or the podcast World Record breaking section, or whatever they call it. I don't know exactly what record we'd have broken. I assume it's just sheer number of listeners, is it? Or
yeah,
being the number one?
it's the number one podcast, and it's the biggest downloaded show ever at the moment.
Right.
I think that's because people have only had podcasts for a couple of years.
Yes, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know when the next issue comes out. I guess it's sort of December time.
I used to get the Guinness Book of Records every year. I love it.
I've never understood why it was such a big seller. I mean, presumably, who's I don't know, a man that can balance 3 egg cups on his head has beaten the record.
Well,
the
they're
next
real
year.
records as well, obviously. I used to go straight for that. I really loved the sort of animals, fastest, strongest, all that sort of thing, biggest.
But aren't they the same every year?
Well, no, they do change, and obviously there's new entries to keep it exciting. But what annoys me is that it looks like anyone can get in if you're willing to do something that no one else will bother with.
Yeah.
They did one on Big Brother where it was the stacking sugar cubes, and I was thinking, well, no one's going to bother beating that.
No.
There's people that walk along with a milk bottle on their head. And no one's going, oh, I'm a bit jealous of Bill. Why? He's broken the record. What? For walking along with a milk bottle on his head? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go into training tomorrow. They're ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I do like the real ones. There was one in there I got on a couple of years ago, and it was about disasters. And there was one where there was some big ornamental incense burners at this thing in I think Thailand or Korea or somewhere, and they fell over. And they killed 7 of the congregation. Joystick disaster. Now, again, there's no one trying to beat that. There's no one going, we need 8.
Yeah.
We need 8 people. We're going for it tonight. What do I have to do? You have to stand quite near those big joysticks. Okay.
And what record am I breaking again?
We'll tell you after. Also, I think a lot of people waste their energy on this because there's one guy in there that can do the 100 metres in 11 seconds running backwards. And I want to say to him, turn round. Because I think you'd be fast forwards, you know.
Yeah,
if you'd have only from the age of 10, sort of, you might be, one of the fastest runners in the world.
Because you're never going to be considered one of the great athletes for doing it
No
backwards.
one knows about him. That's not going to ever be an Olympic sport, running backwards.
No.
Or and now the 100 metres. Oh, one of them's putting a milk bottle on his head.
yeah. This is one to watch. There was a guy in there. I've always been fascinated by the guy. He had the world's longest fingernails, and they were truly extraordinary. And they went out and they started to curl around, obviously. And in the end, he almost looked like sort of there was a big spiral of gnarled old fingernail. But I just a terrible affliction, really, to be walking around. With these giant fingernails. So much you can't do. Just missing out on. Jeff, you coming bowling? I can't. Just so many different things that you miss out on. I've never quite understood who's willing to have this eat into their life. It's going to take over their whole life just so they can have their photo in this book. It seems a very bizarre impulse. Carl, have you ever been tempted by any world-breaking attempts? Do you find them fascinating or futile?
I mean, you don't get paid or anything, do you?
No, they do it for the pride.
But say like the fella who can run with a milk bottle, could he get a milk round? Do you know what I mean? I can understand that if you can use the skill, but like you say, if it's getting in the way of your life and that, then what's the point?
There was a kid at school who said, I'm in the Guinness Book of Records. I went, oh, yeah. He said, no, I am. And he brought it in. And now, I don't know if this is a valid claim. He claimed to have been in the audience for what, in this particular edition, was labelled, the largest audience ever giant Super Bowl game in America.
Oh,
and he claimed to have been in the audience. Now, do you think he deserves to say he's in the Guinness Book of Records?
Sort of. I think that's a lot. As it was the largest audience ever, I think a lot of people can claim that one. I mean...
If he wanted to get a name check on doing that, he would have been best saying, I was sat in the audience in a bath of beans. Because then that would add to it, and you get a little, they'd have you in the picture, wouldn't they? So...
He's Mr.
Do it
Fit
that
there.
way. Yeah.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Harry from Canterbury wants to know whether any of us have ever had any cruel nicknames. He claims that he's quite tall and rather hirsute, and he says he's often called Lurch or Wolfie. He's always thought that Carl looks a bit like Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah. No, there's no potato that round, but I suppose you could fashion a potato to be that round.
Yeah.
Maybe we could, if anyone can carve a potato into the roundest head ever,
Yeah.
pop a couple of eyes on it.
Make it look as much like Carl. Yeah, any nicknames? Did you ever have a nickname, Rick?
No, mine was boring. I didn't have any. It was just around the name, like Jerv or something like that. No, I didn't have nicknames.
I always wanted a nickname. I just thought it was quite cool for some reason, particularly because gangsters always seem to have nicknames.
Lefty.
Fingers,
Yeah.
Lefty, yeah. Scarface.
Yeah.
And so I decided that I thought, because no one was giving me a nickname at school, it was kind of annoying, or certainly not to my face,
Yeah.
that I decided to just come up with one.
Yeah.
And so I remember I was at lunch once, and I just said to my mate Phil,
How old were you?
12, 13.
Brilliant.
I just said to him, Phil, don't know if you know, mate, but people aren't calling me Steve anymore. Everyone's calling me Spud now. Now, I don't know why I thought Spud. It's weird we should talk about Mr. Potato Head. I don't know why I thought Spud was a cool nickname. I think
It's a grown-up name, though, isn't it?
and it's also because I think it sounded like it was probably either something that you'd find in one of those kids' books, like the Famous Five, or like the Bash Street Kids. There'd be Spud, and I always imagine with Spud, he's not the leader of the gang, but he's a reliable.
Is the biggest lorry driver in one particular sort of car park.
Yeah.
And here comes Spud.
Yeah,
And he gets out, all right, boys. And he's big and massive. And Spud can eat 2 breakfasts.
exactly. Yeah, but I just in my mind it was that I would be one day part of a gang, and I'm Pinky, this is Jojo, and the tall guy's Spud.
And it didn't catch on,
never
did it?
really caught. And he just went, oh yeah, right. And no one started. And I was hoping he'd go, everyone's calling Steve Spud.
Yeah.
But of course,
Hey, Spud. The first time I said Spud, you go, what?
yeah, exactly.
You'd be really proud, wouldn't you?
But I think that it kind of actually in a way it probably revealed that I just was probably not in people's thoughts enough to get for the nickname to catch on, because you sort of need to be a real player in the school.
I think you should have gone something more memorable. I mean, I'm not saying anything goggle-eyed freak or anything.
What?
No, just...
Well, no, it's good advice, Fatty. fatty pot
That's
belly.
the problem. I wasn't fat at school, and I suppose Carl didn't have a round bald head at school, did you?
No.
No.
Did you have a nickname?
Not really. I mean, there was grew up on, nicknames are big things on estates and that.
Yeah.
A lot of my dad's mates, right? What their nicknames did was tell you about them. Do you know how I said about the Elephant Man's a good name?
Yeah.
Because, you know what you're going to get. If someone said, Elephant Man's popping round in a bit, it wouldn't be a shock when he walked in.
Yeah.
Right? So it worked in that sort of thing, So there was John the Screw, right?
John the Screw?
Yeah.
Well, he had sex a lot, or he worked in a prison?
No, he had a DIY shop. So you had him, right? There was Fred the Veg.
Yeah.
Which is
I assume it's because he was at the same IQ as you.
Or he was in a coma.
Yeah.
Right.
There was my uncle, Tattoo Stan.
All right.
Yeah. He had like loads of tattoos that he'd just done himself.
Oh my God.
The problem was because he did his tattoos himself, the ones on his left arm, because he was right-handed, on his right arm, rubbish. Right? So there was him.
Great.
And there was Jimmy the Hat.
Jimmy the Hat?
Yeah.
Did he always wear a hat?
No, he didn't. That was the point there. That he never wore a hat.
That's amazing.
Brilliant.
How can you pick up on someone never wearing a hat? How would you ever notice? I'll tell you what, I've noticed something about Jimmy. What?
Go on.
He doesn't wear a hat. Why was he not called Jimmy the Parrot? Because he never carries a parrot.
No, but that's just the way. I mean, that's how they work in it.
Here comes Jimmy Three Legs. Why'd you call him that? He hasn't got 3 legs.
I didn't really have one apart from, I had a CB. Like when you'd go on a CB radio and have a chat to people.
Oh, this was a craze in the, was it late 70s, early 80s?
Sort of early 80s.
And it was just short band radio, wasn't it? Everyone had these little handsets and they'd speak to each other in the sort of local area.
Yeah, it was mainly, I think it started off with like
lorry
truckers
drivers,
and
isn't it? Yeah, truckers, yeah, because there was that thing from like about 19 Convoy, yeah.
Yeah, so I had one of them, and my handle, I had 2
Handle
different names.
is your nickname, your
yeah,
name?
there's loads of code stuff.
Yeah.
I had a couple. I had there was Pilkey 01. Because,
Right.
like I say, there's a lot of Pilkingtons and that in Manchester, so I just thought, give it a number. If someone wants Pilky 02, it's open. Do you know what I mean? They can have it. And then...
like it's people scrabbling. I want a Pilky one.
and then, because I did boxing and that...
Well, you did it once.
Yeah.
Well, I'd Boxer Boy. Because I thought that's quite a good image as well. That's kind of like people going, oh, don't mess with him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he asks what your handle is, tell him. Do you know what I mean? It's Boxer Boy and that.
Yeah.
So, just had them two, and I used to just go on there and...
Pointless. What is the point of this?
Well, you just meet people, don't you?
And you
So
don't meet people. You say, "What's your handle?" You go, "Box Boy." What's yours? Rubber duck. All right, cheers.
No,
It's
but
ridiculous.
then you'll say like, then you go, oh, what's your 20?
What's that mean?
That's where are you? Because just in case there's someone who's listening in who you know, you hear about this all the time, don't you? People listening, jotting stuff down.
Oh, right. So, just in case someone in the world doesn't know what handle means, they're out of the loop. They're out of the loop.
It's not a difficult code to crack, is it? If
Yeah.
you're trying to track someone.
It's hardly the head of the mafia talking to each other because the FBI are on the wire. It's ridiculous. Like, I go, oh, he keeps saying that, what's your handle? And they come back with something else. I can't work out what's going on.
No, it's like anything, isn't it? That's what codes are all about, isn't it? You set them up and that.
Go on, and tell me the code then.
Reveal at long last to the world what
Yeah.
these codes are.
Right, so
Yeah.
what's your 20? Where
Oh,
are you?
This is better than the Enigma.
Yeah.
Right, now here we go.
Right.
How many candles are you burning?
Does that mean how big's your car or something like that? Horsepower or something?
See? No, that's
Oh,
how old
what
are you?
time is it?
No, how old are you?
What? How old are you? Okay.
Right.
Right.
How many candles are you burning? Of course.
Yeah.
So what's the answer? Come back.
You go,
I'm 15.
14.
Brilliant. That code. No one gonna work that out. There is no one gonna work that one out.
So let's just play through this conversation. Give us an example of how it worked.
Right, so you turn it on and that, and you start off, and there was something that you said at the start, like
Hello.
just you
Breaker.
yeah, breaker, do your copy or whatever.
Yeah.
Then someone will go,
What does
yeah,
copy mean?
No,
What his name
I want
was.
to hear because I want to hear the fascinating conversations that Carl must have had.
Yeah.
and you go, all right, it's Boxer Boy, yeah.
What's
He
your
goes,
20?
What's your 20? And you go, well, just I'm in Manchester.
In the flat.
Oh, right.
And they go, right, yeah. How many candles are you burning?
Oh.
You go, oh, I'm 13.
Oh.
So
And that's the end, is it?
then you might sort of say what was it? It was something like what am I burning? Right?
Using burning again.
Confusing, but go on, yeah. What am I burning? The bacon, because I'm busy talking to you, you twat.
That's like what's my power? What strength? Because then you can tell if they're quite close to you. So if you're
Yeah.
getting someone burning a 1,
We've told them. We said, "Wait, what's your 20?" You go, I'm in Macclesfield Street.
Yeah, but
all
then-
right.
but then you
Wonder
go-
where they are. We've just told you.
Yeah,
Wonder how
but-
far away they are.
but then you go, oh, that's interesting because you're burning, burning 3. I don't normally get a 3.
This is the least interesting hobby
Do you know what
could ever do.
I wish you'd have kept a diary of this because this has been fascinating.
Now and again, someone will come in and go side on, right?
What's that mean?
And that means like there's someone sat there listening into this
Ooh.
chat and going, this sounds interesting.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Unlikely.
Yeah.
And they want to join in, so they sort of go side on, you go side on, bring it in, right? And they go, all right.
How many candles are you burning?
Yeah. What's your 20?
That's it goes round again.
Yeah.
See you later. What's your 20? How many candles are you burning?
Oh.
And, I mean, it seems to me that what you should have done is made a note the first time, so that when you then speak to them again, you don't need to ask them those questions. Can I just confirm that you're burning 50? It's that time again. Do the jingle.
Oh, monkey you! Sorry. Okay. I'm gonna do a really good one.
Okay, go.
Oh, chimpanzees! Monkey news! Yeah.
Right, do you know it's nearly time for the Winter Olympics again.
Okay.
Is it? Okay.
They sort of come round every 4 years.
Is it this year? Is it?
Yeah. And the last one that happened,
4 years ago. Yeah.
there was a bit of an incident.
Oh no.
Oh well, I'd know about this then because it would be
Well, it'd be
Well-
big news because it's a well-known.
televised as
event,
well.
yeah.
It's,
Do you remember any winners that were monkeys in any of the
No,
tournaments?
of course
no,
not.
No.
So-
yeah.
it's
So
not
anyway-
going to be that because it wouldn't be true. Go
Oh,
on.
yeah.
So anyway, one of the popular events, bobsleigh.
Okay, right.
You know, you know how it works.
Well, you
It's
need
like a
4
slate.
men. Is it 4 men or 5
4 men.
It's 4. So it's definitely 4 men that you need
Need
on a
4
bobsleigh
men.
team.
Is it and there's 2 team bobsleigh as
But
well. Well, yeah, they have to be.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Humans.
so
Humans.
Well, that's be humans. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the Winter Olympics for.
Yeah, so let me just clarify. With the Winter Olympics, you can't have any animals taking part.
No, and they also no, because they wouldn't be allowed. And 2, there's no way they could disguise it because not only would they see it straight away, right, but they have blood tests
Right, okay, so,
which would show up.
so they definitely know if it was
Well, they have
any
blood
kind of
tests.
non-human.
It's impossible. It would be literally impossible to have anything other than a human
Taking
involved
part.
in a bobsleigh team.
Fine, okay, so carry on.
So anyway, this country, I don't want to name them because they try to shake off this sort of, you know, this bad news.
Oh yeah, and you don't know.
And
Because
it
it's not
didn't
true.
happen.
Yeah.
So anyway, the country was doing really well in the qualifying stages.
Oh yeah.
But the problem was there was like 2 members
Mm.
who were getting all like the press and stuff,
Oh right, yeah.
and one of them never got a look in. Right.
How tall was he?
Anyway, so this one member was getting fed up because the other 2 were getting all the press and what have you. So he said, "I'm not happy with this.
Yeah.
I'm jacking it in." So they were like, "You're joking? We've qualified with the race and everything.
Mm.
You can't leave us now." And he said, "Well, you could do it all on your own before. You know, the way you were acting and that, you didn't
Yeah.
need me, so I'm going."
Mm.
So they were like, "Oh."
Well, they need to replace him because there's a certain amount of people needed.
So anyway, so the clock's ticking. It's getting close to the big race and
Of
everything.
course it is, yeah.
They're like, "What are we going to do here?"
The substitute
Right?
they took with them.
What are they
Well, they
going
must
to do?
have,
Yeah, they would take their substitute. So get him
No,
on.
they didn't have any of them and that.
What-
It's,
what-
you know, a lot of injuries and stuff.
Or just get a mate to do it, just get a mate or a
Yeah,
friend
mate,
or the coach to do it, yeah.
But you know, there's a lot of responsibility on these people, and you know, you won't want to let your country down and that. And they're like, "What are we going to do?"
Get a waiter or anyone in
Anyway,
the hotel.
the time comes to the race. Seems to be 3 people on it.
There appears to be 3, okay, yeah.
They start off, they're whizzing around the track faster than normal. They're beating their old records
Right, amazing.
because the new fella they've got a little bit smaller.
Ah,
Right?
Is he in?
So
Is he in the bobsleigh? Or is he pushing?
He's in it.
Oh, right, okay.
Right?
he's wearing a uniform and a helmet, though. We
He's
can't
got
see what he
helmet
looks like.
on.
We
He's
can't
got
see
the
his
kit
face.
on.
Can't see his
Yeah.
face.
Nobody knows who he is, but the
course they do.
country's loving it.
Of course they
They're
do.
like, well, you know, good. It's good that they found someone new.
Yeah.
Bet the other fella who left is sort of kicking himself, thinking, "Oh, I could have been part of this." Anyway,
This wasn't a bloke that had very short legs and long arms, was it?
what happened is they're whizzing round the track and what have you,
Faster than ever, yeah.
faster than ever, and the press are like going, beating all records here. They started taking photographs. A lot of flashing. A lot of flashes from the cameras and stuff.
Right, of course.
Suddenly, the bobsleigh goes a bit sort of mental and whizzes off the track, right, into like all the tyres and stuff that they have for protective.
Oh, they love tyres, don't they? Bobsleigh members. Some of them you can. Sometimes you can find them swinging in one, or maybe eating a banana.
Ambulance comes rushing over and stuff. The other 2 members are looking pretty nervous for some reason.
Oh, what are they doing?
They're saying, "Look, don't take the helmet off because you know you can do more damage to the
Well,
neck."
don't tell the paramedics how to do it. I mean,
They know their job.
Yeah,
they know their
yeah,
job.
yeah.
So they were
Please.
like, just you know, and plus, you know, he doesn't want everyone to know who he is. He's
Yeah.
not after the limelight
yeah,
like some of the members we used to have. But he
Yeah.
just was helping his country out.
yeah.
Leave the helmet on. Anyway, they get him in the ambulance and stuff. The other 2 are looking a bit worried and what have you. They're gutted. They lost the race.
The little bloke. Is the bloke not saying anything? Is he not?
He's in the ambulance now.
Is he not saying anything though?
Anyway, word got out, right, from one of the ambulance drivers a few weeks down the line, once all the dust had settled on the Olympics and stuff, and light news day and stuff.
Yeah.
It was reported that one of the ambulance drivers said that on that sort of dreadful night, when you know the country lost out on a medal in the bobsleigh, he sort of reported that there was a monkey in the back of the ambulance. People were like going, "Ah, you're
I
joking."
don't
aren't
remember
you?
this. I don't remember this. at all.
Well, this is it, you see, because they sort of swept it under the carpet a little bit.
right.
They were like, "This
Bullshit.
is crazy talk.
It's all shit. It's all
This is
shit
crazy
again.
talk.
Once talk, absolute shit. Where'd you get this from?
This is crazy talk, right?
It is
But-
crazy talk, and it's from the mouth of Carl Pilkington.
But the weird thing is that backed it up. Following week, there was a story of some people chimping a neck brace. And that's this week's Monkey News.
Bollocks.
Hasta la vista, baby. I'll be back. I'm here to tell you about Friday night comedies on Channel 4. There's 3 great comedies. New Green Wing, it's nearly ready. My Name is Earl and The It Crowd, the great new comedy from creator of Father Ted. Get your ass to Mars. Friday night comedy this Friday on Channel 4. Switch it on. I'll be back. Uzi 9mm. Cause I did it at a voice.
Well, that's the end of another podcast. Thanks very much from me, Ricky Gervais, with me, Stephen Merchant.
Goodbye.
And Carl Pilkington.
Right.
And thanks again to those guys at Positive Internet who host this podcast, the world's #1 podcast. We'd also like to congratulate Steve, the American office, who won a Golden Globe.
Yes, congratulations, Steve, and obviously everyone involved with the American office. And for our American listeners, if you haven't checked out the American office on NBC, it's dynamite. It really is a cracking show. I don't know if you're a fan of the original, but if you are, or even if you're not, just watch it. It's great. It gets better and better week by week.
It's absolutely brilliant. That's NBC. I think that's Thursday nights, isn't it?
After My Name Is Earl.
That's got to be the first time a Golden Globe has been won by two different people for the same character.
I think you're probably right, mate.
Cheers.
Hey, congratulations again for winning it all those years ago.
Two.
All right.
Two.
I don't need to mention
One,
both.
two.
Don't need to
Bye.
mention both.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited. The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Hello and welcome to another Ricky Gervais show with Merchant
Hello.
and Carl Pilkington.
All right.
The 9th in a series of 12 podcasts we're doing for free.
Absolutely free of charge.
We're getting we've already done over sort of 2.5 million downloads. We'll probably do 4 million downloads by the end of the series. If I had a quid,
I don't even want to discuss it, Rick.
You are gutted,
I'm
aren't you?
absolutely furious because I said to you when we studied this, I said, why? You were going, oh, let's give something free back to the fans. And I was saying, it's not worth it. They don't deserve it. But no, you demanded it. And I wanted
You
to pay.
did.
I want to charge crazy money for
I've
it.
been a fool. We've had about something like 6,000 emails as well. If we could only channel this to good, because you know what I mean. This internet has been set up. Billions and billions and billions of dollars go on this cyber highway back and forth, doing good stuff, communicating, sending people into space, commerce, and people, hundreds of thousands of people, are sending me pictures of Carl as a monkey.
I know, exactly.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
It's not what this system was created for.
Thank you for all your emails as well. That cost us as well a little bit. It's a little bit of money.
But it also costs me and my precious time having to wade through the crap that gets sent to us.
Thanks to Kieran Gabriel from Merseyside who sent me a picture of Carl as Bruce Willis. It's the effort. We'll put all these up on the website. David Weinstein has started his own T-shirt range. I could eat a knob at night. And Paul Devon has sent me this caricature of Carl, and it's brilliant. Again, I think they're wasting their energies. It's actually a brilliant painting of a little round, bald-headed mank, some sort of like freak creature.
Yeah.
Whereas he could have done a beautiful painting. But thanks to all those.
I have actually waded through the emails, and I obviously, again, like Ricky, I echo the thanks for sending in all the different questions and comments about the show. And there's so many, it's impossible to obviously even reply to them or talk about them. But a couple of that have struck me. Emily from New York has asked Carl this: Carl, if you were on a sinking ship or you were in a burning building, and you were with myself and Ricky, but you could only save one of us. I don't know why that's the case, but you can only save one of us.
Yeah.
Who would it be me?
I think it's a two-man dinghy.
Right, okay.
Possibly. And we're trapped, and he knows that if he stays there to get both our legs out from under this thing...
The girder.
Yeah,
that's
he
full
dies.
on.
He's got room, he's got time to save one. It's obviously me.
It's hard to say, isn't it, at this point?
What,
Because it depends
because
what the
Steve's in the
situation-
room, you mean?
Well, no, just because we don't know what the situation is.
Okay, well, let's say we're on a sinking ship, all right? So you're going to have to rescue one of us, drag us into the dinghy.
It's going under. You know, in 30 seconds, okay, this ship's going to go under and drag you down and you're going to die, right? And our legs are trapped and you've got enough time to untangle one set of legs. Whose legs do you untangle?
Now, just because my legs are long does not necessarily mean it's more complicated.
No, it's exactly the same amount of time. Just have to make a choice. A terrible choice that Steve would not, hate you for.
Well, no, listen, this
He
is
won't be around for long. He's going to drown in 30 seconds.
Well,
Forget him.
Bear in mind this, Carl. You are going to be stuck in a dinghy with Ricky Gervais, and who knows how long that's going to take. It's going to be going on, the comments, the wind-up. And do you honestly think that he's going to, if there's any provisions, that he's going to split them evenly with you? I mean, he's going to have drunk all the water, and there's only going to be about half an hour in. The food's going to be gone. Look at his gut. Look how much, of the food he's going to have to eat. The baked beans that you've got on board. Whereas me, you know how generous I am. I'm always sort of helping
there
you
we
out.
go, Carl. I think he's put the nail in his own coffin there. You know how generous I am, Carl. Let's talk about that, Carl. Come on, think about that one.
Yeah, I mean, have you forgot about that, Steve?
What? What?
The time when we went for a coffee and we had to have a bit of a heated debate about the 50p change.
Yeah, you owed me 50p,
Oh, I'm not
and you
liking-
decided you didn't want to give it to me because it was only 50p. And my point was, it's not a question of the 50p, it's the fact that it's not your decision to decide not to give it to me. If I wanted to be generous, that's my decision. But you can't go, oh, it's only 50p,
Well,
Steve.
It's my decision who I
But
say
you just given him a free keg of beer.
Yeah. and
No, but yes, but that did not come to you, and you didn't pay for the free keg of beer. It was a
Doesn't matter.
promotional thing that was.
where I gave Suzanne my leaving present from my last job.
A lot of people may not be aware of this if they haven't heard us talking about it before. Yes, but you had a gift from your work as you were leaving after however many years of service, which you then gave straight to your girlfriend without telling her that it had been received from people at work.
Doesn't matter, she wanted a camera. It's the same thing as you. You wanted that lager that I got for free. It hasn't cost you anything. It doesn't matter where I got it from.
So you now decide, because you've given me a free lager, that you can now say, oh, actually, I'm not, in the future, I'll just take your money, Steve, on a whim.
Well,
Listen, stop arguing with us. You're rocking the dinghy. Carl, have some of my cheese.
Imagine if he would. Do you imagine he would ever say that? Can you imagine him ever offering you any of his cheese?
Are you going to save Carl, mate?
I don't want to say.
Can we say on the website? Can you just do a little explanation of why on the website? Can they? Well, think about it and.
I might do a sort of a for and against or something, and then sort of so the conclusion is
Okay, all right.
something like that.
Go to
All right.
rickygervais.com.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Hasta la vista, back. I'm here to tell you about Friday night comedies on Channel 4. There's 3 great comedies. New Green Wing, it's nearly ready. My name is Earl and the It Crowd, the great new comedy from creator of Father Ted. Get your ass to Mars. Friday night comedy this Friday on Channel 4. Switch it on. I'll be back. Uzi 9mm. Cause I did it divorce.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Well, I've been waiting for this for a week. It's a regular feature now. When we read from Carl's diary. Carl decided to keep a diary. He's gone through with it. I can see it there. It's massive. It's a huge desk diary that he has to carry around with him. And the pages are getting full up. You're really keeping to this.
Yeah.
Right, this is extracts from Carl's diary.
Did podcast and went for an Italian with Ricky and Steve. Italian place is good. We've been there a few times. I always have the same thing, spaghetti. Can't remember when we went there. Steve had little octopuses with pasta. You could see that they were octopuses. They hadn't been cut up or anything. My rule is that I only eat stuff that looks nice when it's alive. A cow, a chicken, some fish. An octopus is an odd-looking thing alive. Even worse when it's dead and limp. It looks like it just shouldn't have been sat in the spaghetti.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Ricky drew another picture of my head. We've given a few of them away as prizes, but he draws so many of them that they won't be worth